Israel launches a second airstrike on Syria. Will it have repercussions for Tel Aviv? Insurgents attacked the grave of a Muslim figure revered by both Shias and Sunnis and threaten more attacks. Is there an effort to turn the Syrian conflict into a sectarian regional battle? I'm Homa Lezgi, and this is The Debate.
Tel Aviv has confirmed conducting an airstrike against Syria on Friday, claiming it targeted an arms shipment bound for the Lebanese resistance group Hezbollah. This is not the first time Israel hits targets inside the Arab country. In February 2013, Israeli jets struck another Syrian target. At the time, Tel Aviv also claimed that the target had been a weapons convoy for Hezbollah. The claim turned out to be false when Damascus published pictures of a research facility destroyed by Israeli jets. So far, Israel's unilateral assaults against other countries have provoked no protest from its Western backers.
I think that what Israel calls into question is the very existence of international law. That is, if Israel feels free to bomb neighboring countries, and the United States continues to back Israel, as if Israel's security is somehow written into the United States Constitution.
Israel's attack on Syria comes as fresh news broke about another grave desecration at the hands of insurgents in Syria.
Foreign-backed militants affiliated to the so-called Al-Nusra Front, which is Al-Qaeda-linked group, dug the grave of Hujr bin Adi's shrine over there in Adra al-Balad in Damascus countryside, a very important and highly respected Muslim figure.
Digging up the grave of Hujr ibn Uday, a close companion of Prophet Muhammad and the first Shia Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, shows that insurgents in Syria intend to observe no red line. Many Sunnis also have great respect for Hujr ibn Uday.
This proves once again that those who did this act, mainly those Al-Nusra Front militants, it's impossible that those relate to Islam.
Syria has been the target of increased raids in recent weeks, from explosions in Damascus to Israel's air raid, as well as sacrilegious acts by foreign-backed extremists. The attacks come at a time when the Syrian army is making gains on the ground and flushing out more militants from areas near Damascus, Homs, and Aleppo. So it seems that Syria's enemies, including Israel and Takfiri militants, are trying to wreak more havoc, whether by airstrikes or by stirring religious and sectarian sentiments in the country and the whole region, to pave the way for a bigger confrontation.
The timing is quite significant, especially it comes after the very important speech which was made by Hezbollah's leader Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah, in which Sayyid Hassan cautioned that Hezbollah, or what he called Syria's real friends, in a reference to Hezbollah, Iran and Russia, would not allow Syria to fall into the hands of the US, Israel or the Takfiris, the Al-Qaeda affiliates.
You're watching The Debate. Joining me now live from London is political analyst Mr. Sukant Chandan. We're also expecting a guest from Tripoli, Salafist cleric Sheikh Omar Bakri. Now, my first question I'll put to our guest in London, Mr. Chandan. Now, Israel has said, Mr. Chandan, that its attacks on Syria are meant to stop weapons from reaching Hezbollah. One question would be, why should Syria send its missiles to Hezbollah when it's engaged in a war?
Good evening, sister. Exactly. Perhaps it's unlikely that in a context where the Syrian Arab Republic is confronting this imperialist and Zionist conspiracy using imperialism, Zionism's death squads through its allies in the Gulf and Turkey, etc., against a sovereign and resistant frontline state of the global south, which is the Syrian Arab Republic, why would Assad and his government be in this particular context supplying weaponry to Hezbollah? It's perhaps unlikely, but perhaps they're still doing it. So that's really a grey area which we cannot really qualify right now. But the message which the West and its main satellite state in the region, that's the white settler state of Israel, the message it's sending to the Syrian patriots and revolutionaries, that is the people supporting the Syrian government, are several. One, that it can intervene with impunity by bombing a sovereign resistant frontline state of the global south, and imperialism will stay silent and actually give it complicit and obvious support. Two, that it can bomb an Arab and Muslim country, and because of one of the greatest coconut Uncle Tom operations, which is the Arab Sting, because of that, yes, there will be no protest across the region. Actually, there will be silence, and in that silence is complicity, yes, with this act. And thirdly, the white settler state, it's saying that in any future confrontation again with the Lebanese resistance movement, which is Hezbollah, that it has the capability of blocking off potentially a fundamental supply route to the Lebanese resistance. We have to remember that Saeed Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Lebanese Hezbollah, yes, said that the Syrian Arab Republic was fundamental to Hezbollah's victory against the white settler Zionist state and its imperialist backers in the July war in 2006.
Referring to the role that Israel is right now playing in Syria, you said the message that it's trying to give to those, you said, who are supporting the Bashar al-Assad government. But let's just bring in Mr. Bakri now, Sheikh Omar Bakri, Salafist cleric with us from Tripoli. Mr. Bakri, the Israelis have said that they would strike at any target that proves to be a means to transfer weapons to Hezbollah or other terrorist groups. Now, who are these other terrorist groups? Analysts have been saying they're the same groups who are benefiting from the funds and weapons reaching insurgents fighting the Assad government with the blessing of Israel. So, for instance, they're asking why Israel isn't, for instance, attacking any of the weapons of the al-Nusra Front, for instance, or the FSA, if they are anti-Israel.
Obviously, the involvement of Israeli forces now will jeopardize everything, because on the eyes of the Islamists, who are the Salafists, they are really anti-Israel, anti-America, and even they are anti the Free Syrian armies to a certain extent. So now there is another groups who are Salafists, maybe, and there are really Islamists who are pro Syrian armies, and maybe they are really, both of them are functions against the Bashar regime. But if I want to speak to you as an expert on the Salafi groups in particular, if Israel involves itself in any form of fight against them, they are going to consider that they are coming to support Hezbollah, because that is really the involvement now is a direct support to Hezbollah. That's how they're going to read it. Unfortunately, I think for the benefit of the state of Israel is to confuse the matters, because the safety of Bashar al-Assad regime is safety of Israel. That's the way we see it now. Having said that, you see, at the same time, they are really consider Hezbollah to be enemy, and that is where the confusion got to happen. However, Hezbollah involvement in Syria, it is a crime, should not be involved themselves, unfortunately, and they considering everybody fight against Bashar. He is pro-Israel, pro-America, and even they say they are takfiris. They're not going to permit, as they say, the takfiris in the region. Whom they mean about takfiris? If they want to declare war against takfiris, and they mean the Qaeda or the Salafis, I think they put themselves in big troubles. You know, somebody he wants to...
Well, you refer there to the takfiris, Mr. Bakri. Sorry for stopping you. I'll just want to bring in a comment that's been posted on our Facebook page by one of the viewers, and I'll come back with a question related to that. We'll be back. Let's take a look now.
Those Wahhabis couldn't call for jihad against Israel over the past 30 years, and now they are calling for it against Muslims.
Well, that's a sentiment that's been raised a lot by a lot of our viewers on our Facebook page. Just remaining with Mr. Bakri, and I'll go back to Mr. Chandan in London. Mr. Bakri, the question that a lot of people are asking is, they haven't been calling for jihad against Israel, of course, considering the situation among Palestinians, but now they are calling for it against Muslims, that viewer telling us, and that in specific reference to the desecrations that we've been seeing take place, to the attacks on holy shrines, shrines that are regarded as respected and sacred to Muslims.
I don't know who told you that is Bashar al-Assad and his government and his Nusayri Alawis are Muslims. I don't know who told you that. I think you are mistaken. Even Khomeini, Imam al-Khomeini, he declared Alawis as a Kafir sect. So you are speaking about a political alliance between Hezbollah and Bashar and the Alawis. This one. Second, even Saudi Arabia regimes who rule by kufr, we consider them to be apostate Kafirs. So as far as the Salafi jihadis is concerned, anybody ruled by different than what Allah has revealed are the Kafir. Therefore, there is no scenario like this. Now, as far as jihad against the enemy, against Israel, I think the Islamists and the jihadis always fight against Israel before even the existence of Hezbollah. Hamas are Sunnis anyway. Islamic movement are Sunnis anyway. And the Sunnis always are fighting in a different shape and form, even as a Palestinian guerrilla. So I think, by saying that the Wahhabis never fight in Palestine, but the Wahhabis fought in Afghanistan against the Soviet Union, against the Russian, against the communists. They fight in Chechnya. The Wahhabis has been fighting against the Americans in Iraq, in Afghanistan.
So, Mr. Bakri, I'm afraid I've got to stop you there. We are very short in time.
The one who supported Israel.
Yes, just bring in Mr. Chandon. I'll be back with the next question to you. Now, Mr. Chandon, I guess Mr. Bakri is saying that we shouldn't consider the Bashar al-Assad government or his supporters as Muslims. First of all, tell us what you think about that comment and also what these attacks on these shrines are about, in your opinion.
Mr. Omar Bakri is a rank hypocrite, and he is a caricature promoted by the British intelligence services, media and government. This is the same man who collaborated openly, and he stated on record that he spoke and gave information to the British intelligence services because he wanted to remain in Britain because he appreciated the health benefits of the National Health Service. So really, Mr. Omar Bakri's idea and model of struggle is that of the Libyan model, which is what? Which is basically silence over a 6-month NATO bombing campaign against a Arab, North African and Muslim country, and collaborating with NATO in overthrowing a resistant sovereign country of the global south and a Muslim country at that. And now for all his just hypocritical and utterly hollow talk of jihad, we can see very clearly the de facto evidence on the ground. His comrades are fighting against a historical enemy of imperialism and the West, the modern-day Crusaders, which is the Ba'athist government of Syria. And who is coming to their help and assistance? No other than the Zionist state of Israel. So the facts are very clear for everyone who wants to see the facts and who does not want to be blinkered by the likes of Mr. Omar Bakri in Tripoli or his colleagues in the British government and in NATO generally. On the sectarian issue, the type of disgusting sectarian chat that's coming out of Mr. Omar Bakri's mouth is again, gives you a clear indication to the sectarian agenda behind the death squad movement, to which Mr. Omar Bakri is actually assisting directly in Syria. This is the plan of imperialism to divide and conquer and divide and ruin the Muslim world, which Mr. Omar Bakri and his brothers are facilitating very nicely the NATO agenda, delivering the NATO agenda in
Mr.
brown
Chandon,
skin.
I'll stop you there if I may.
Nothing but a coconut operation.
Okay.